Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are immersing ourselves in a topic that, it really lives at the intersection of geology, history, and spiritual practice. We're talking about the fascinating world of crystals. And our sources take us far beyond just, admiring these as beautiful objects. We're looking at the belief system that treats crystals as these ancient energy codes, like they're holders of the Earth's memory and cosmic vibrations that span millennia. The whole idea is that these stones aren't inert. They're constantly broadcasting specific frequencies.
And that leads directly to the core concept, right? Which is, why are you suddenly obsessed with a specific piece of amethyst or jasper? Practitioners say this strong pull is all about the resonance principle.
Resonance?
Yeah, resonance. It suggests that the crystal-specific energy field is thought to vibrate at a frequency that perfectly matches your soul's immediate needs.
So the stone you're drawn to isn't random?
Not at all. It acts like this finely tuned instrument reflecting the trauma you're healing, or the lessons you need to confront, or even the path you're about to walk. It's a pretty profound idea that the crystal is a mirror reflecting your current energetic state.
That framing is perfect. So our mission today is to really unpack that connection. We need to explore the mechanisms they propose, like how vibration and energy fields are supposed to work, and then jump into some specific high-impact stones. We're talking about the aggressively transformative Moldavite, the soothing Amethyst, and the purifying Selenite.
It's a lot to cover.
It is, so let's get started.
To understand how crystals are believed to work, we really have to start with energy. And this might sound basic, but the foundational principle is crucial. Everything in the universe, right down to the atoms in your coffee cup and the cells in your body, vibrates.
Because atoms are just in constant motion.
Always. And the human body, in this view, is seen as a wildly complex frequency system. Your organs, your tissues, even your emotions, they all vibrate at their own specific rates.
And so disharmony, what we might call illness or just emotional imbalance, that happens when these natural frequencies get disrupted, when they're out of sync.
Exactly. And this is where crystals supposedly step in. They act as energetic regulators.
Okay, how?
Well, unlike our chaotic, constantly shifting human frequency, crystals, particularly those in the quartz family, have an incredibly consistent, orderly internal lattice structure.
Right.
Think of it like this. Your body is an orchestra trying to play a complex piece, but all the musicians are slightly off tempo. The crystal, with its perfect geometric structure, is like a highly stable metronome. It's providing this unchanging, pure frequency.
And the theory is that by being near it, its stable energy field helps pull our frequency back into alignment.
It helps restore that balance, yeah.
Now, this all sounds very metaphysical, but proponents always point to one specific verifiable physical property to bridge that gap.
The piezoelectric effect. Yes, and that's the key thing. The piezoelectric effect is scientifically proven. It's the ability of certain materials, especially quartz, tourmaline, and jasper, to generate an electrical charge when you put them under mechanical stress.
Which is why we use quartz in watches and computers, right? Because it generates that super reliable, consistent pulse.
Precisely.
So how do we make the jump from a computer chip to, a spiritual cleansing?
That's the critical leap in the philosophy. The idea is that since the human body has its own measurable electromagnetic field, what some people call the aura or the biofield, the crystal's inherent electrical charge from this piezoelectric property lets it actively interact with that human field.
So it's not like a big shock.
No, not at all. It's subtle regulation. Our sources emphasize that, ancient healers didn't know the word piezoelectricity, but they intuitively knew that wearing or holding certain stones allowed their energies to interact with our field.
They were bringing about subtle shifts.
Exactly. Improving spiritual and mental equilibrium. They were essentially using nature's circuit boards.
Okay, that gives us the foundational physics. Now let's talk about a stone that really puts that theory into overdrive. We have to talk about Moldavite.
Moldavite is truly in a league of its own.
Why is that?
Mostly because of its origin story. It's not technically a mineral, it's a natural glass, a tektite formed about 15 million years ago by the intense heat and pressure of a gigantic meteorite impact in the Czech Republic. It literally carries cosmic DNA.
Wow. And that unique origin gives it an incredibly high, rapid vibration. I've heard it called the personal space rocket.
And for good reason. Its function is pure rapid-fire acceleration. It's known as the stone of transformation because it doesn't wait around.
It just gets to work.
Immediately. It quickly identifies and kind of ruthlessly removes outdated patterns, archaic ideas, and long-held psychological traumas that are holding you back. This makes it amazing for manifestation because by clearing the clutter, it helps you attract universal vibrations much faster.
And this is where the intensity becomes very real for a lot of users.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the famous Moldavite flush.
Yes. When someone first interacts with a high-quality piece of Moldavite, they often report an intense warmth spreading through their body. Sometimes it's followed by tingling, a sudden sense of dizziness, or even a huge emotional overwhelm.
Like being plugged into an energetic fire hose.
That's a great way to put it.
I read testimonials describing it as like an immediate confrontation with deep-seated issues, like skipping 10 years of therapy in a single afternoon. The reaction is interpreted as the body rapidly integrating this intense cosmic frequency.
It forces an immediate spiritual liftoff, and because of that intense, often destabilizing power, it's rarely recommended to be used alone.
Especially for beginners.
Absolutely. You need a grounding stone, and the most recommended partner is selenite.
Okay, so what does selenite do?
Selenite acts as the energetic regulator. It's the autopilot system to manage the intensity. It brings deep peace, it gently cleanses and purifies the entire energy field, and crucially, it provides steady decision-making abilities.
So it stabilizes the whole process.
It makes sure the dramatic transformations from Moldavite are integrated smoothly, fostering stability instead of just emotional chaos.
Okay, so moving from that intense cosmic energy to the tools for more gentle day-to-day inner work, let's talk about the essentials. Amethyst and rose quartz.
The classics.
They really are. Staples in any collection focused on personal growth.
Let's start with amethyst. It's associated with the crown chakra, and its primary focus is on spiritual connection, internal awakening, and tranquility. Its vibration is known to calm that mental chatter.
That endless noise?
Right, the noise of daily life, and that effectively makes your own intuition louder. It's often the go-to stone for people seeking answers or going through a major spiritual transition.
You can almost feel that from its deep purple color, that sense of a higher connection.
Precisely. Amethyst provides powerful emotional support through a higher frequency. It helps you find inner peace and quiet the mind, which is why it was historically used to guard against excess and promote sobriety.
So it's the stone you reach for when you need your brain to slow down so your spirit can catch up.
That's a perfect summary. And then we pivot from the crown down to the heart with rose quartz.
The stone of unconditional love.
Universally, it carries this quintessential soft, feminine, nurturing energy. It works very gently to dissolve emotional wounds, old fears, and resentments, opening up the heart chakra.
So its mission is to replace that pain with compassion and self-worth.
And deep personal fulfillment. Yeah. What's so interesting is how ancient its use is. We're not just talking about modern metaphysical practice here.
Oh, right. I read about this. The Egyptians and Romans.
Exactly. Historical records show that Egyptian and Roman women used pulverized rose quartz dust in facial masks. They believed its soothing energy helped clear the complexion and prevent wrinkles.
Which connects the stone directly to self-care and beauty across thousands of years.
That historical context is so key. And now, a really crucial practical tip for both amethyst and rose quartz, and clear quartz too. They're sensitive.
Gentle stones need gentle care.
You've got it. You should never leave these specific quartz varieties in direct, strong sunlight for long periods. Amethyst and rose quartz will fade in color dramatically, and clear quartz can actually become brittle.
So what's the best way to cleanse them?
They respond much better to moonlight. It's seen as a more feminine, nurturing energy that recharges them gently.
That makes sense. Okay, now that we've discussed the stones themselves, let's talk about how this energy is actually harnessed. Our sources are very clear. The crystal is only half the equation.
Right. The real success relies on the user's intention and focus.
The intentionality of the initiator.
Yes. The stone only amplifies the focused thought. If you're chaotic and distracted, the stone amplifies chaos. If your intention is pure and specific, that's what gets amplified. So programming your stone is probably the most important step.
Let's walk through those simple steps. First, you have to cleanse it.
You have to remove all the absorbed stale energy. You can put it on a selenite plate, give it a salt bath, or smudge it with sage or incense.
Step 2, define your intention. And this has to be really clear, specific, and positive.
Yes, focus on what you do want. So instead of saying, I don't want to be stressed anymore, you would say, I am calm and centered when facing challenges.
And then finally, step 3 is to program it. You hold the crystal, you visualize the intent flowing like light into it, and you speak the intention aloud or just in your mind.
And that creates the synergy between your desire and the crystal's consistent frequency. To boost that even further, a lot of practitioners use crystal grids.
Which is arranging them in geometric patterns.
Exactly. In sacred geometric patterns, geometry is believed to be the language of the universe. So arranging stones in specific shapes, like a hexagon for sleep or a square for stability, amplifies their collective energy and directs it toward a specific goal.
That's fascinating. So for a sleep grid, you might use what?
You could combine amethyst, selenite, howlite, and moonstone in a hexagon pattern to create a really peaceful environment for deep restorative sleep.
And while we're on the topic of vibrations, we should probably touch on crystal tuning forks.
Oh, yes. This is a highly focused application of that piezoelectric property we talked about. They're made of quartz, and when you strike them, they produce these incredibly pure, sustained tones.
And you use that sound to interact with the body's energy field.
Right. The sound waves are believed to promote deep relaxation, align the chakras, and just energetically rebalance the whole system. It's like literally tuning the body with frequency.
We've spent a good amount of time on the power of belief and the mechanisms proponents use. But for a real deep dive, we have to look critically at the evidence and the bigger picture.
That's essential. Which brings us to the position of conventional research. Crystal healing is classified as an alternative therapy. And while there's tons of anecdotal evidence of positive outcomes,
There's little to no scientific evidence confirming these subtle energy fields exist.
or that crystals are effective medical treatments for diagnosable conditions like cancer or severe depression, that's a really important distinction.
And yet, people do feel better. Often, significantly better. Which leads us straight to the incredibly powerful and scientifically verified placebo effect.
And the placebo effect isn't fake, it's real, and it is demonstrably powerful. A positive response often comes from the conscious or subconscious belief that the treatment will work.
That belief is so strong, it can actually cause the brain to release its own powerful chemicals like endorphins, which are potent pain and anxiety relievers.
Exactly. So the results in this context are powered by the mind of the initiator, not the mineral composition of the stone. If you truly believe the crystal is changing you, your brain will often start that change itself.
Which is powerful in its own right.
Absolutely. And finally, connecting to the bigger picture, we have to address the ethical side of this. The massive global demand for crystals is contributing to some pretty serious social and environmental issues.
Right. Many of these crystals are extracted in developing nations, places like Mozambique, the Congo, or Myanmar, where environmental regulations and labor conditions can be, well, notoriously lax.
And our sources highlight that this can tragically involve things like child labor or, in some cases, financing conflict. The jade trade in Myanmar, for instance, has been linked to financing internal ethnic conflict.
And because the supply chain is so murky, very few sellers can actually tell you the true source of their material.
It really asks you, the consumer, to balance your desire for personal transformation with the ethical costs of sourcing that transformation.
It's a vital reminder. Conscious practice really does require conscious consumption. When we engage with crystals, we have to balance the profound belief in their power, the science of the placebo effect, and the need for ethical consumerism.
Absolutely. And while crystals are generally safe and can be a fantastic support for mindfulness and setting powerful intentions, it is critical they are never used as a replacement for professional medical care.
So, to bring this all together, the ultimate takeaway seems to be that the crystal doesn't fundamentally change you. Whether you believe in subtle energy fields or the power of your own mind, the crystal acts as a highly effective, consistent amplifier.
The true power lies with the initiator, with you.
So, reflecting on this deep dive, the journey of transformation with Moldavite, the quest for inner peace with Amethyst, and that push for self-love with rose quartz, if you had to choose just one crystal's energy code to focus on right now to help guide you on your path, which one would you choose?
What energy do you need amplified most in your life today?